Well, Black and White Network, Biden, my friends, is finished. He's finished. He had his, what do they call it? A bit boy press conference at NATO. It did not go very well for one Joe Biden. He's trying to convince the American people, namely Democrats, that he should actually stay in the race. He should be the nominee. But there's a growing amount of Democrats, man, that are saying that, hey, we need someone else. We need someone else. That's they're saying. Now, I hope Joe Biden actually stays in the race because I'm really enjoying seeing the Democrats self-destruct. They did this to themselves. They actually could have had another candidate during the primaries, but they really didn't have a primary. And now, if you want to say they did have a primary, Joe Biden won their primary. And now the Democrats seem to want it to be seen as undemocratic, I guess you could say. They want to overthrow democracy within their own party. The quote unquote voters said, we want Joe. The Democrat establishment is now saying, no, Joe must go. But we need to talk about a couple of gaffes here, man, from Joe Biden. And it's pretty bad, man. I'm pretty sure you guys know who the president of Ukraine is. He is the grifter Volodymyr Zelensky. I'm pretty sure everybody knows him, man. This is a guy that doesn't own a suit. He looks like, I don't even know the word to even say, man. Looks like he's like in military fatigues all the time. Even when he's at around other dignitaries. Yeah, that guy. Always grifting for money. And Joe Biden has definitely seemed to be Ukraine first, America last. And Joe Biden was actually going on about Ukraine last night during that press conference. And he made it very, very political, going after Donald Trump as well. But I don't believe he actually calmed the concerns of the Democrat establishment at all. There's a couple of clips, guys, because Beijing Biden actually introduced Volodymyr Zelensky as President Putin. Last time I checked, man, Vladimir Putin is the president of Russia. And not only that, guys, it gets worse. Because then Beijing Biden actually refers to Kamala Harris as Vice President Trump. I'm not making it up, guys. Not making it up. I actually watched that, man. That press conference is actually pretty boring, except for the couple of gaffes. Pretty hilarious, man. And by the way, Beijing Biden, man, knew that these questions were coming, in my opinion, because he actually said after he was done speaking that he had a list of questions and he was actually going to call on these people. He's reading from a list, and some of those people actually reading their questions from like a cue card or something like that. This is all staged and it still backfired, guys. Let's get into this. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. Remember, live stream every single Friday, which is today, by the way, at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you're watching on Rumble, click the join button to get access to the same thing. And everyone can also support us by becoming a member on blackandwhitenetwork.com or supporting us on Locals for just $5 per month. So, here we go. Right here on X, man. Check this out. Watch Zelensky's reaction as Biden calls him Putin. Yes, he actually calls Volodymyr Zelensky Putin. Wow. But you know what? At least Biden actually did come back and correct this mistake. Let's play this.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin.
Wow. President Putin.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. We're going to beat President Putin. And now
the look on Zelensky's face, man, he wasn't about to walk up until Joe Biden actually corrected himself.
Putin. President Putin.
And these idiots, man, were actually clapping when he said President Putin. They were clapping.
President Putin. We're going to beat President Putin. And now
Wow. Absolutely astonishing, guys. Now, here is the one where Beijing Biden did not correct himself at all. When he actually referred to Kamala Harris, because they were actually asking a question about Kamala Harris being ready and everything like that. And he refers to Kamala Harris as Vice President Trump. He doesn't even know who his own number 2 is. And he didn't correct himself, guys. Watch this.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. I wouldn't.
Wow. And then he got his pronouns wrong. Trump is not a female. Trump is a male. This man doesn't know who his own number 2 is, man. The internet, man, roasted him on this. Everybody's posts on that going viral after he said this. I actually made a post about it. And then someone actually made a superimposed picture of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And of course, you know that's in the thumbnail. That is definitely in the thumbnail of this video. Let's look at this again.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there.
Wow. Wow. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. And I believe right here, this is when, because there was somebody at the end that brought up that gaffe about calling President Trump or Kamala Harris Vice President Trump. And he didn't correct himself. Still.
This concludes.
Respectfully, earlier you misspoke in your opening answer. You referred to Vice President Harris as Vice President Trump. Right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory. How do you combat that criticism from tonight?
Listen to him.
Joe, Kamala, and the entire Democrat establishment have been caught red-handed in the thick of the biggest scandal and the biggest cover-up. It's a cover-up. That's what it is. And I said it when they hit this guy in the basement. It's a cover-up. It's the biggest cover-up in political history. As you know, they are all co-conspirators in the sinister plot to defraud the American public about the cognitive abilities of the man in the Oval Office.
Yeah, so you see that right there, man. You see that right there. Joe Biden's cooked, man. He's probably cooked. Now, there's going to be some people, man, that are going to say, hey, it wasn't as bad as the debate. Okay. Wasn't as bad as the debate. Now, one thing, I believe Joe Biden showed up like an hour and a half late for this thing, too. Hour and a half late. But, man, him making all of these different fumbles, man, it's a bad look for this country, man. It's a terrible look for the country. We are definitely a nation in decline, but I do have hope for the future. But the future is going to be more bleak with someone like Beijing Biden. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.